in that kitchen would do. There was a movie, I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was based about in this restaurant. And one guy would get really upset and he had dandruff really bad.
Oh, my God.
So he would, he would kind of like his hair over the steak.
Oh.
And people thought it was, seasoning.
Seasoning.
Yeah.
Salt.
Yeah. So, I learned from my friend, never complain about your food.
No, absolutely not. Don't do it. I've seen too many hidden camera documentaries about that stuff, and you talk about the pork chops thing that I was telling you about, but I got to tell you, this might top it here. You make me not want to eat too much.
Well, maybe that's good for both of us, because I tell you what, I don't know. No, I can tell you another one. One of my girlfriends, long before I got married, worked in a fast food place that cooked chicken. That's all I'm going to say. And for a while, that national chain had ribs for a while. I don't know if you're too young to remember that, but they came out with ribs for a while, and it didn't go over, so they just concentrated on their chicken. But my girlfriend actually was the manager of one of those establishments. They never turned the deep fat fryer off they used.
Oh.
Because it would cost too much to bring it back up to temperature. Okay.
Gee.
So they would leave it on 24/7. So what the employees would do in the morning, they had this, like what you use for like swimming pool or like catch fish, but it was made.
A net.
Yeah, but it was made for high temperature so it wouldn't melt.
Right.
And they would take the rodents out of it.
Oh my God. Did you just say rodents?
Rodents. And when she told me that, I didn't believe her. And one night I was picking her up and she said, okay, well, have you ever seen a mouse that looks like a chicken thigh?
But it tastes like chicken.
I don't know. But I tell you what, for a long time, I quit going into that chain. Because this is the thought of it, like, oh, well, maybe that piece of chicken wasn't chicken.
I couldn't. I tell you, I don't know, maybe I'm different, but I couldn't work in a place that knowingly I'm giving people the flavor of mice from last night. I couldn't do that. That's just rotten. My God. That place could be sued and shut down for
it's not them. I also had another friend one time that worked for a company that makes Chinese noodles.
Oh, Lord.
In the can, and you pour it into your frying pan or a saucepan and you heat it up, chow mein.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not mentioning the name of them, but what they would do with the sprouts and stuff, they'd let it age for a day or two after whatever they do to process it. And his job was, in the morning, to scoop out the rodents out of that.
Oh, my
But if you look at what the government allows, they allow so much rodent poop in food legally. I mean, because there's no way to eliminate it all. There's no way. You can't. I'm sorry.
No, because those big factories are making it for the masses. And so they're mass producing this stuff in these big warehouses and factories making this food, big vats of food. Of course there's going to be bugs and animals and rodents in it. Absolutely. I've known people that's opened up, a can of tuna fish and been mice in it before and stuff like that. I mean, it's freaky. It's not something you want to think about before you're going out to eat, but it happens.
Oh, yeah. This is no lie. Coca-Cola. Years ago, they didn't have the plastic bottles when I was a kid. It was glass bottles or the cans. That's what you got. But mainly it was the bottles, and they were recyclable. In other words, you brought them back and you got like 3 cents a bottle, because you had to put a deposit down when you got your soda. And They reused the bottles over and over and over again, till they got damaged. And they would, you go to the store and you bring your empty 6-pack of Coke or Pepsi bottles back. And you buy another bottle, 6-pack or a bottle or whatever, and you leave your old one, right? And they would go back to the bottler and they would clean it and sterilize it and then refill it. One time I had a bottle of Coke and there was a baby mouse in it.
Mm.
Yeah, I drank half of it, and then I looked
Oh.
at the bottle, and I noticed something floating, and I looked, and there was a mouse was in it. You know, a small mouse somehow got into the bottle, and then
I'm surprised he didn't kiss your lips when you was drinking it. Oh my!
I
goodness.
know. Well, it was definitely dead. Put it this way, and you know, how can I say it? It was, well, embalmed in Coca-Cola, which probably would, if it would have been, because that back then too, because they, recycle them by refilling them. If it would have been in that bottle for a long period of time, I think it would have dissolved.
Oh yeah. Oh, Coca-Cola will dissolve. You better believe it. I'm surprised they didn't charge you extra for that little bit of extra.
No,
tidbits.
but they were really nice. They gave me a coupon. It was worth, I think, $5 or $7 back then, which was a lot. Because you know how much a bottle of Coke cost when I was young? 19 cents for a bottle of Coke.
Wow, that is cheap.
Yeah.
That is really cheap. I'm surprised they didn't offer you a whole bunch of Coke and be like, here, have.
That's what they
increase your
did. They
chances
gave me certificates for $5 or $7 or what it is for Coke products.
Oh, so you can get some more mice.
Well, I don't know. After you run across something like that, you wonder. And then, I had a friend, or my wife had a friend that had a can of not Coke, but some other brand soda back here about 8-9 years ago. And it was a rodent in a can. Figure that. But you know what? Is the way I don't know how that even works. I know that when at the bottling company, the cans aren't round. They come in a sheet, and then there's a machine that makes it round, and then they put the bottom on, and then they fill it and put the top on it somehow.
Yeah. But the thing with the mice, if they get their head in a little hole, their whole body will follow. It's amazing. I've seen them get in spots you would never think they could get into.
Cats are the same way. Frickin', I don't understand it. We got a cat, and I finally put a thing in my studio door on the bottom. So now, it's a hard rubber. So it rubs the carpet as you open and close the door. But there was a gap, I swear to God, maybe 1.5 inches. And this cat, a full-size cat, would stick his head underneath there and shimmy it around and come through.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know how it did it, but it would do it. Because you know where I'd find it? In the server of my, for my equipment.
Yeah.
But I actually saw it coming. One day I was doing the show, and here's the cat's head on this side of the door. And you can't open the door at that point. You just have to wait till it kind of works its way in, and they do it. They kind of push down on the carpet, and I don't know how they do it.
That is one determined cat. That's amazing. Yeah, I remember when you said the cat was getting up in your server and stuff, and it wasn't working right, and he had a little nest up in there, or used it for restroom or something.
Yeah, that too. And then chewing on wires.
All the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Wanting to electrocute himself up in there. He's probably chasing some mice.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, I don't know. You want to buy a goat?
that goat of yours, I'll tell you
Not
what.
mine, it's my daughter's. Okay, let's get that straight.
Okay, it's your daughter. It's her fault then. But wasn't that was you bought that under the premise of it being a miniature goat, if I believe correctly, right?
Yeah, a miniature goat. And I tell you what, it was supposed to have been fixed too. And we're naive when it came to goats. Okay, simple. We had 2 goats before. They're both female and lovable. I mean, one would follow me around like a puppy dog, and it was always wanted its neck rubbed, and it was lovable. This one here, right when we got it, was a Hellraiser. Okay, and it didn't have horns. It had a little, and she said, "Oh, it's been dehorned," because our other goats were dehorned. Okay, and then about a month later, I noticed, well, these little nubs are now like about 1.5 inches long, and they keep growing and growing. And so did the goat, and now it's a full-size goat. And I tell you, the horns are huge. And I tell you that this goat is it acts like it really likes you till you turn away from it.
Mm-hmm. Whoever sold that to you must have been a good used car salesman. You got a not miniature, has had its horns, and it's a little bit on the mean side.
A little bit on the mean side. It's the devil.
Yeah.
The devil came back as a goat.
And that would be your goat. I can just see his picture in that pentagram right now.
Yeah, I tell you, it's evil. It sounds evil. It looks evil. And, well, what can I say?
Does it climb too?
I don't know. I haven't been outside since my injury to find out.
Because I've seen some of them ghosts that climb on your car, up a tree, all kind of weird places I've seen them climb.
Well, this goat is huge. And I'm telling you, I didn't even think goats could get that big.
Oh, he must really be big then.
If you stood next to him, how tall are you?
About 5'10", 5'11".
Well, it would definitely be higher than your waist.
Oh my, that is a pretty good sized goat. So he's definitely wasn't me. So he's like on the big end of the miniature.
No, he's a full size goat. A miniature. We had miniatures. They were little teeny, small, lovable creatures. This thing is huge.
Sounds like a beast. I'm surprised you haven't had any lamb chops yet.
I don't know.
Coming up.
I don't know.
That was an evil laugh I ever heard one.
Yeah. I can't wait till we get Patrick Cross on to talk about, well, what happened to him when he had the abduction, encounter with the UFO, and what happened with the aliens. We're going to talk about that. And then I want to really get down to his 27 years and 300 plus investigations. Now, see, he's being realistic. He's saying in 27 years, he's done 300 investigations. Now, he's been on many TV shows, radio shows, and all that stuff, with his ghost hunting experiences and stuff like that. But how about when we have had some of these guys on, I've about 3,000 ghost hunts. No, then you start thinking about how many days a year there is. And how many, right? Okay. For the last 20 years, you've been out every single day, right? Ghost hunting.
Really? I can tell you in 2019, 2019, or was it 2018? I don't know, 2018 or 2019, I did like 21 investigations. That was just investigation, not counting the other stuff. And that really took a wear and tear on me. It you can feel it. It's just too much. That was less than 2 a month, and that was too much. So these people that's doing, I don't know, 1,000 or 400. I don't know how they do it. I don't know. It's not I can't do it that much. That's why I retired.
Well, I don't know how they could physically do it either. I mean, I think people exaggerate, but you know what? Somebody coming out and saying I've done over 300, that sounds really, believable. And and Patrick, from what I hear, he has the reputation to go along with what he does. So I can't wait to have him on here in the next 8 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a few of his documentaries where he was in it. I know him and his friend Michelle, they got stuck on an island one time. But, yeah, he's been some hairy places, with UFOs and with spirits and ghosts and demons, all that kind of craziness.
Yeah. Well, do UFOs exist? Do aliens exist? Does time travel exist? Well, that's one reason why you should be listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you'll find out. We'll be back in about 8 minutes because at the top of the hour, James has the news. So stay by and stand by.